We're live. First, welcome to the pilot episode of Follow Me. Our disclaimer. All views expressed in this podcast or subsequent podcast are those of the investors. Represent the opinions of any entity whatsoever with which we have been, am now, or will be affiliated. Options made in these casts are not reflective of the position of any entity other than the casters. And since we are critically thinking humans, these views are subject to change, revision, grow as we learn. Welcome, everyone. I'm Will Moore, past master of Tequila Lodge number 433 in Tequila, Georgia. And I've had a few other stations as well.
My name is Worst Brother Wiley Forrester, and I'm past master of Buford Lodge number 292, located in Buford, Georgia. Myself, I've had the privilege and honor of serving in many capacities of our Grand Lodge here in the state of Georgia. But more especially, I think the title of brother and just Master Mason are the most important titles that are left here in our fraternity. And, you know, we just want to share some of our thoughts and our opinions. And as we grow and continue to, you know, if this podcast becomes successful, then, you know, maybe we can help you with some answers to some questions, you know, offer some advice, or just overall just have good conversations since we have been shut in due to the modern times. Now, with what we're hoping to plan to do with all of this is more or less just create an open channel, considering that we do have to spend a lot of time at home now. And most of us are career Masons who spend 20, 30 hours a week doing nothing but going to Masonic meetings. And as we learned in Knights Templar, that we should always go into the room of reflection and reflect on who we are as brethren, and most of all, what it means to be a Master Mason in the modern world. So we hope that you enjoy what we're planning to do and all of those good things. First, Brother Moore, what we intend to do here, or who is this intended for?
Well, this is intended for brethren around the world. There's a lot of things that we don't know that we like to learn, and with the thousands of miles we've traveled on the road together, our discussions have always turned into stuff we've always said, you know, this would be great to present to our brethren because they would love to hear some of this stuff they may not know or may have a differing opinion about, because we love to hear other opinions, or just don't think about on a regular basis. So we just want to share. We thought this would be a fun avenue to do it with. We'll see how this goes. We won't always do vodcasts here on YouTube. We'll also do podcasts. But we'll do what the brethren want us to do, and we'll answer those questions we can answer. We'll bring up those topics that some people think are tough topics. All in all, we're just here to help ourselves and help our brethren.
Yeah, and from our point of view and the way our backgrounds are set up, you know, Freemasonry is so unique with bringing brethren from all walks of life into our great fraternity. And, you know, you don't have to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a minister, or whatever. You come from anywhere in life. And we want this to be all-inclusive for all Masons around the world. Doesn't really matter where you come from. It just, as long as our belief systems are the same, as far as we believe in our common values. You know, we've got to think about the betterment of mankind and how we grow. And, you know, a little personal knowledge from my own background is I work in the manufacturing industry, and I've been a manager for in excess of 20 plus years. You know, I've been a Freemason for 23 years now, and they've been intertwined in my life, and Freemasonry has taught me to be a better manager, a better leader. But what it's allowed me to do is grow myself as a person, to be a better husband, and be more forward thinking when it comes to not being selfish. Being selfish has really crept into our fraternity these days. And, you know, it's not about you. It's about the greater good of the fraternity and how we come together as a common people.
Yep. Let me give a shout out real quick. Worst Brother Ivy Smith just joined us on the live stream here. It's good to see you, brother. If we could give you a shout out, you're our first visitor on the channel. Bear in mind, this is our first one. We're going to grow and learn this as we do it. We're sitting over here at Worship Brother Wiley's house. Well, soon to be old house.
Yeah, we're shut in.
just showing that we think it's important to get the word out there to the brethren. And I know a lot of you brethren out there spend 20, 30 hours a week going to lodges and different functions, independent bodies. And now that you're shut in and don't get to go to those things because a lot have been canceled, I know a lot of states have shut stuff down. We wanted to do something that would be fun and engaging with our brethren. Worship Brother Moses Gomez. Good to see you, brother. I see you here on the podcast or the vodcast. Always great to see you from New Jersey.
We love our brethren in New Jersey.
Absolutely.
We're thankful for those brethren. With some of our backgrounds, I spent 6 years as education chairman in Masonic education here in the state of Georgia. With the help of some brethren from New Jersey, helped me bring that leadership conference here to the state of Georgia. And it has been one of our most successful programs over the past 10 years as being a Mason here that I could have ever imagined. The brethren I met while I was in the northern states, I was treated with such hospitality, just the way brotherly love is supposed to be shared. And when our brethren from the north come down, they're treated the same way. A lot of Grand Lodges take a lot of beating and bannering just due to social, economical things here in the world. But just understand, all Grand Lodges are their own sovereign, and we have to follow certain rules, and doesn't make us any less brethren or any less brethren no matter where we are in the world. Just know that I love Freemasonry and I love all of you, even though I may not have met you.
Absolutely. Worship Brother Gomez just said he's wearing his first Masonic Leadership Conference shirt from 2014 today. Worship Brother Wiley Forrester got sent up there up north and helped put together this leadership conference for the state of Georgia. And I know we've had over 600 brethren.
Yeah, we're closing in close to 7 or 8 now at this point.
Have been trained over the last 6 years at this conference. And it's really brought a big light into our state. And we've got other states now looking at us for what we do and wanting to model theirs after us.
As you can see, we chose the name of our channel as Follow Me. And we did that sort of twofold. We wanted to let the brethren know. I was in a conversation with a good brother one time, and we were just talking in general as we do most of the time. And he said, "Brother, you know what the 2 most important words in all of Freemasonry are the words follow me." And I just had to listen to this good brother explain to me why they were so important. And the reality is those are the 2 most important words in all of Freemasonry. We as Masons make a lot of vows and promises we take obligations to each other to uphold. And we always have that one brother that tells us to follow him no matter what during all of our ritual and things of that nature. And if you're going to be a mentor, if you're going to be any kind of leader in a lodge, you want everyone to follow you. And what a better way to set up an event is the words follow me. I mean, what are you saying to another brother? When you say that to another brother, you're telling him you're going to show the way. And right now, when the world is in such turmoil, we as Masons need to follow the lead of those ancestors and predecessors before us, the great followers that came ahead of us that set our groundwork for our fraternity. I mean, our fraternity is second to none in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how many times have you gone into a lodge and someone comes in that and you tell them they're going to get all this knowledge and stuff, and after they get raised, we just kind of feed them to the wolves.
Right.
We've got to bring them and continue to bring them down the path and teach them and give them that training and understanding so that they become a better man, a better Mason, a better husband, a better father, a better son, better worker, better co-worker, better leader. So this is kind of what we want to do. We want to get feedback from the community. We want to bring topics that interest you, that you've talked about with the brethren in your local area, but you want to get more information about it. You want to get other points of view. We just want to build this into something fun and entertaining. Most of all, we want to bring more information to the brethren that we can. We're going to learn a lot along the way, not only about how to do these podcasts and vodcasts, but also we're going to learn a lot about Masonry, not only in our own state, but in other jurisdictions and around the world.
And brethren, we're very restricted as far as Masonic meetings and places we can go and how we can gather in groups. And, you know, it's the springtime of the year. And I know in every state, there are so many activities that are going on Masonically. And for me personally, I know that, you know, if there's 25 meeting nights, I have 27 meetings scheduled. So I don't know about most of you. I know that our good friend Moses up in New Jersey, he's a world-renowned Masonic speaker and lecturer, and he has events scheduled out years in advance. And with the way the world is right now, we need to lean on each other for support and guidance. And, you know, when we have to quit cold turkey, I mean, life is tough when we're used to going Masonically every single day, and then
nothing.
Then you're shut off. So let's use this platform to discuss issues, and you know, we can handle criticism. We're big boys, and we like to hear how people critically think. And by us being located where we are in the deep South, we know that there are things that we have to answer. But trust me, we're not afraid of these things, and we just don't want people to get their feelings hurt when we tell you the truth. The truth is always harder for most to accept, but understand that I promised I'd love you no matter what, and it will never stop.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
So, you know, I think this is going to definitely get better and better with each cast we do. We just wanted to come on here today and explain a little bit about what we look to do with this. We don't have any political agenda. We're going to run it just like you would if you were in a lodge. We're not going to go down the politic avenue. We're not going to go down the religious avenue. We're going to strictly talk about Masonry. And we're open to all points of view when it comes to Masonry. Keep your politics in your own house. Keep your religion to yourself. We all have a volume of sacred law we follow, and that's fine. As a Mason, we have to do that. Whatever yours is, we don't care. You know, as long as you took the same obligations I did, we're open for them.
So, with that said, we talk about following me and all of these cool things. Just understand, brethren, we're not trying to get you to follow us. We're trying to get you to open up to us, and let's share our views. And, you know, we can always, we don't have to always agree. We talk about that quite often. Freemasonry, we should be able to express ourselves and leave as brethren as we should in lodges. But I did at the opening talk about selfishness, and I think that's a good point to bring up in today's little session is the selfishness going on in Freemasonry. You know, whether we agree or we don't necessarily like someone, that's why we hold elections. That's why we have a yearly turnover. Every 365 days, we elect new leaders in our lodges and in our grand lodges. If you don't necessarily like someone, that's okay. I mean,
if we were all the same, it'd be boring.
Yeah, I mean, what fun would that be? But you can't let your personal agendas come into play with what we're trying to do. And what we're trying to do is create an environment of brotherly love. And in the world as hectic as we have today, where you can come hang out with your friends and your brethren and just enjoy each other and put down the working tools of your everyday vices that we have in our jobs, and come to a place where everybody is smiling and happy with one another. You know, shake off that where you come from dust. Come on in. Let's break bread and enjoy ourselves, you know.
It's like what we did today. We took a 2-hour road trip and went up and we saw our Grand Master this morning and a couple other brethren from the lodge up in Allegheny. Hello to Allegheny. Lodge number
114, I believe.
And then we took a road trip back. I mean, it was fun to get out. We kept our social space, but we got to go out and see people and get out there. You still get out there. Just use common sense. And let me put this point in. I've said this to some of the brethren in my own lodge. Brethren, if you have older members in your lodge, and here in Georgia, our median age for Master Masons is about 66 years old. You have older brethren in that risky age group, call them. If they need something, if they need some groceries, if you're a younger Mason, go get it for them. Go do something. You're doing great Masonic work by doing that, and you're helping your brethren and your community out. And you're keeping those folks that are at risk at a lower risk by helping them out.
Just drop them off on the doorstep if you have to. You don't have to go in. Just get their list. They'll take care of you. And you know, sometimes we as Masons, we fail to follow up on that. You know, charity begins at home, guys. You take care of your own members and your own family first, and then you can help the rest of the world.
Yeah. I just want to hit on a comment Brother Gomez just said. He said, "This is the first Masonic platform I've attended since the shutdown from this pandemic. It's been years since I've been away this long from speaking, visiting, and traveling. And if you haven't seen Worship Brother Mo speak, you need to do it. It's fantastic. His 9/11 speech is it will touch your heart. If it doesn't, you don't have one. But he said we made his day. Brother, you make our day every time we get to talk to you or see you. So it's our honor to be able to help make your day some." And
so in case, you know, people are sitting at home and they're looking and see, notice a big cardboard box next to Worship Brother Will. I am trying to get my house packed up to move to my new home. And then the virus came, and of course it's shut down a lot of things for me and my wife here. We are moving at some point, we hope, but it just really depends. So if you notice the next podcast we have and you see things that'll be different the next time, it's because we're getting prepared to move and our house is kind of in shambles. But Worship Brother Will and I want to do this today because what a better time. The sun's out here in Georgia. It's finally shining. We've had, gosh, it seems like we've had 120 days worth of rain, and in a doom and gloom world, we just wanted to smile and hang out a little bit together and put aside some of this moving and stress related items that go along with that. But I would, I'm going to try to offer up some educational stuff for folks that want to try to read while we have some downtime. Most of my library has been put away and it's already packed up, but there's a new bestseller that just come on the market. It's called "It Takes What It Takes." I can't remember the young writer's name, but it's a motivational book, and it's how to have to go through thinking being neutral, and that's what we need to do. And we need to learn to think neutral because everyone has their own situations happening at this time. And
I'm going to post a link to Amazon to the book. We don't get anything off this book. It's just the first thing that popped up so that you guys have an idea of what this book is and can look for it.
And I'm a big fan of trying to become a better leader every day and to be able to critical think and to be able to be neutral, because everyone is entitled to their opinion and everyone has their own thought process. And, you know, if the rules line up with the opinion, and if it doesn't, then it's up to you as Masons to change that ever how you go about changing law in your state. I know that there are a lot of hot button items that are going on around the world, and Masons are always at the forefront. We look forward to discussing those things with you. I try to stay on top of those things with the brethren that I've met around the world. And most of all, you know, I'm from the state of Georgia, so I take a lot of criticism for a lot of things just because I'm a Mason from the state of Georgia. But you need to know that these two brethren, we think openly. We try not to just. I like to consider myself as a trailblazer in the state of Georgia because I like to do things that sometimes people are afraid of.
Yeah.
It's a big deal to try to bring that leadership conference off the ground, and it was a scary time, but we did it. We were very successful at it. We've created good leaders, and we hope to create more Masonic talks and more involvement with Masonic people.
Right.
Masons are trendsetters. Masons are world leaders, and they just don't know it. And we're not. We're just want you to know that you can lead your lodges better, even in the difficult times, especially like now. Now is when you should be at the forefront of your discussing with your lodges, via email, telecommuting, and everything. Zoom is a good opportunity to do something free, to have a meeting. Constant contact. All the traditional things are still out there. Sometimes it's nice for a worshipful master just to put a calling post and put a message out to someone, just to say, brethren, we're thinking about you and we love you.
Yeah.
So, just some cool things.
One of the things you're going to notice, so I'm the tech guy, so you're going to see me on my computer quite a bit because I'll be answering posts from the live chat when I can. I'll be thanking folks in chat. I'm going to be the tech guy, and I'm going to speak some too, because the more I get into the role that I'm currently in, I'm going to be liking to speak more. Have this one right here, you can't almost get him to shut up sometimes. And I'm sure some of you that are watching this are laughing at that because works for Brother Wiley. But it's not about just having words to say. It's getting the point across to the brethren about where we're at, what we're doing. And we got to remember a couple things. And Worship Brother Ivy Smith reminded me of this. Right Worship Brother Jan Giddens said, as brothers, we may not always see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, we should always meet heart to heart. That's very true. We always got to remember we're on the level. We've got to remember those obligations we took. And brethren, at the end of the day, my saying is we can agree to disagree agreeably. They say don't go to bed mad at your wife. Don't go to bed mad at a Brother Mason.
That's right. Well, my thing is a little bit more intense than yours. Get over yourself. It's not always about you. Don't get your feelings hurt. We're big boys, and we're supposed to be better than those things. And unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me in this case, is I have Worship Brother Will because he helps keep a filter on me. And sometimes I have no filter. I saw that Worship Brother Jeff Smith commented, it's going to be hard to get a word in edgewise. You're probably correct, but please don't ever mistake my passion for arrogance, because I'm passionate about Freemasonry. A lot of people know my story and how things went down in my life, and because of Freemasonry, it really saved my life. And without it, I don't know what kind of man I would have become without the mentors that I received in Freemasonry.
Yeah.
There were men who had really no reason to assist a brother who had lost his way. They didn't have a reason.
No, they did have a reason. They took an obligation to do something.
Oh, exactly, but I didn't get it.
That's what a lot of us forget. And a lot of new Masons are not taught. So we're hoping through this platform. And we didn't expect to go 25 minutes, but we decided that this is going to go however long it goes today. And just as a side note, we may not always do it side by side like this. You may see us doing this on Skype where we live cast it. We may do it through other means as live cast, or we may just do a podcast one week. If we do a podcast, we'll actually upload it here on YouTube and other places too, so that the brethren can get this while they're riding down the road and have a good laugh. We don't mind people having a laugh.
And I'm sure it's going to be funny because, we're not paid speakers. We do this. We just speak. I speak because I like to talk, and sometimes I like to hear myself talk. And,
absolutely.
And this gives my wife a break from me, because poor thing, she just doesn't understand Masonry, and she doesn't understand the withdrawals that I'm facing now in my life. Yeah. I mean, it's when you're so committed and that's what you have, and you have to go cold turkey. It's pretty tough.
It's been tough. I've enjoyed spending more time with my family at home.
Yes.
But it's been absolutely tough not to get suited up, dressed up, put a polo on, whatever you wear to lodge, and go visit that lodge and see your brethren for several hours in the evening, 2 or 3 times a week. And I know over the course of the next couple of weeks, more and more brethren are going to start going through those withdrawals. And we're hoping that this is some kind of outlet for people to use to help them through that transition, because we both believe that when this is all over, Masonry is going to get thicker and bigger, because people will realize how much they've really missed it, and they'll realize how much they took advantage of being able to go somewhere all the time. And you don't realize that until you've lost it.
And when you lose that kind of time, and I mean, Lord knows, I found a stranger at my house. She was my wife. It turns out she's a pretty nice person. But at the same time, no, in all fairness, our wives are really going to experience some hard times, because now you're home. What to do when you're home. I mean, they're used to you being gone 30 hours a week. So,
well, and I'm going to kick in a little sponsorship for our own area here. Brethren, you got some time now. If you got one or two brethren that live close to you and you want to do this, do some of the self-study courses we've got out there. And I know it's kind of hitting our own home, but I'm sure other jurisdictions have their own courses they can go through too. Go out there and get them. If you don't know how to get to them, contact me, contact Wiley, contact the page on YouTube. We'll get you the information if you're in the state of Georgia. Because there's some very good lessons out there, some very good things, some things you might not have known. And I know it's a shameless plug for the MLC and for the Masonic Education Leadership Development Program here, but that's how you grow. You don't grow unless you learn.
Exactly. And we'll probably poke fun at each other during all this, because Will helps keep me grounded. And with me, I'm fire and brimstone all the time, and I'm always serious when it comes to Masonry and how Masonry is and affects my life. And when sometimes I don't see Masons acting the way personally I think Masons should, it's really a hard thing to not go and tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also have to try to be understanding and not really know or come to the understanding that brother could be facing something, and this could be his way of expressing himself. And sometimes we forget that as well. And, I want to give a big shout out to all the grandmasters around the world who are having to deal with the just shutting things down, I mean, so, with that, I mean, they're faced with a lot of things to shut down Masonry.
Oh yeah.
But it's for the greater good, and we know it's for the greater good, and people need to be safe. But brethren, please do due diligence when you're talking about meetings and things of that nature, and pay attention to what the government says, and please, by all means, take care of one another and look in on your shut-in members, and
your widows.
Yes, your widows as well. And
think about those kids down at the children's home as well.
And a final comment from myself before, I guess, we need to wrap this thing up. It's getting kind of that we're almost 30 minutes into our first cast. And what I'd like to say is, please give your comments, send them to Works Brother Will and myself. And if you'd like for us to talk about a specific topic or things that you have going on that you want to share with us, please do. And we'll call you and talk to you and try to get the information up. And brother, just know that you need to, if it's a code related question, we'll tell you, please follow the code, your digest of laws or your Masonic laws, whatever they may be. We're not here for that part of it. We have a grandmaster that can do those things. And we're here to talk Masonry and things that you may have on your heart and things of that nature. And what bat time are we going to try to get together again next week?
I don't know. We may, just because of the way things are going right now, we may do this once a week. We may do it a couple times a week. I think it's going to be whenever it hits us. For future episodes, we will let you know more in advance. And bear in mind that this live cast will stay on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to come back and watch it if you missed part of it. We won't always live stream. Sometimes we'll just do something and we'll upload it because we may want to do some editing or add some graphics to it or something of that nature. We're going to try to do as many live as we can. Please remember this. Please, if you would subscribe, get the word out to your friends that we're doing this. Have them come watch this pilot episode. Brethren, we're open to suggestions, ideas, what can make this better, what you think, what you want to see. Worship Brother Jeff Smith just posted.
We don't know how Freemasonry handled the Spanish flu back in those days, but I'm sure that Worshipful Brother Will, our IT expert, could probably figure that out. I will tell you how Worshipful Brother Wiley and Worshipful Brother Will are handling the coronavirus. We are trying to protect our staffs, and we're trying to protect each other and trying to protect our families, and as you all should too. Just know that this thing will pass too, and we'll be all back doing our thing.
Well, one of the cool things Jeff just posted here, we normally have dinner at 6:30 and meeting at 7:30. Maybe we do have these podcasts at 7:30.
If possible,
that would be fun.
That would be possible. But to wrap this thing up, guys, as soon as we'll try to send all of our friends the link to come and see us again. We're just trying to do something out of the box to give somebody a little humor, and most of all to still tell you that there are Freemasons out there that they're thinking about you. They love you. They think about you every day, and they miss you and can't wait to get back in lodge with you so that we can continue our great works. And most of all, to be able to shake a brother's hand and tell you, brother, I missed you, and be able to look someone in the eye and tell them that again. Those are the days I'm looking forward to. And as we go along with this thing, I'm sure it'll be a lot more fun and a lot more entertaining. So that's all I have from the great state of Georgia and Beaufort, Georgia today. And I hope that all of you stay safe and remember Freemasons and who we are. And it's about the brotherhood, fellas.
It is. One little question I was asked here is, are we still having the Masonic Leadership Conference in July? As things stand right now, absolutely. We will get word out if that happens, but we probably won't make a decision on if we were to cancel it until late May, early June. Probably be around the late May time. So everything's still on for those. I know Brother Mo is going to come down from Jersey for that, and we have a bunch of brothers around the state that are going to attend, either as staff or students, instructors, and the like. So, brethren, stay safe out there. Keep in touch with your brethren. Keep in touch with your older Masons around the state and around the world. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it, and we hope that you had as much fun as we had.
And as all brethren always say, so mote it be.
So mote it be. Thank you all.